If you want to start speaking Japanese, like right now, you are in the perfect spot. We are about to break down the single most important sentence you will ever learn. Seriously, this is the foundation, the key that's going to unlock your very first real conversations.
So let's just think about the most basic things you'd ever want to say. I am a student, or this is a pen. How does Japanese actually connect two ideas to say that one thing is another? Well, that's the big question, and we're about to answer it right now.
Okay, let's dive right into what I call the X is Y rule. To really get how Japanese sentences are built, we got to start at the absolute core. And this isn't just some random piece of grammar, trust me. It's a super simple, powerful pattern that you're going to use constantly in pretty much every conversation you have.
And here it is. X, Y, des. If you learn just one single phrase today, this is the one. It is the direct one-to-one equivalent of saying X is Y in English. So simple, right? But it's the launchpad for almost everything you'll want to say.
Now, here's a small but really important shift in thinking. In English, we think about subjects and objects, but in Japanese, XY sets the topic. It's kind of like saying, hey, as for X, then why this comes in and gives you the new info about that topic. So the logic is really, speaking of X, well, it is Y.
So we've got the core rule down. Now let's turn that into a practical formula you can use immediately. This is the fun part, right? This is where we go from just knowing a concept to actually building sentences you can say out loud.
The easiest way to think about this is like a simple four-step recipe. Step 1, pick your topic. That's noun X. Step 2, add the topic particle, wa. Step 3, add your new information, noun Y. And finally, step 4, finish it all off with desu to make it a nice, polite statement. And boom, that's it. You just built your first perfect Japanese sentence.
All right, a recipe is great, but language really comes alive when you see it in the real world. So let's see this formula in action. We're going to look at a few examples you'd actually hear somebody say, and this is where we're going to uncover something really interesting about this whole structure. Okay, our first example is gakusei this. Now, gakusei means student. So, what do you think this sentence means?
It means, I am a student. Okay, but wait a minute. See those parentheses around the word I? Where did the I go in the Japanese sentence? This is not a typo. It's a super important feature of the language.
And this right here reveals a fundamental rule of Japanese. If the topic is obvious from the context, you just leave it out. If someone asks you what you do, you don't need to say the whole I am a student thing. You just say, am a student, or gakusei desu, because of course you're talking about yourself.
Let's look at another one. Imagine a college student gets asked about their major. They might just reply with Nihongo desu. Nihongo means the Japanese language.
So in this situation, it translates to, my major is Japanese. See? Again, the topic, my major, is nowhere to be found because everyone in the conversation already knows that's what you're talking about. The sentence just cuts right to the new information.
And for our last example, let's say somebody asks you for the time. You could just say, Juniji han desu.
And this just means, it is 12:30. Even a simple little word like it gets dropped because, well, of course you're talking about the time. The context makes the topic completely obvious.
So the big takeaway here is this. Leaving out the topic isn't lazy, it's actually incredibly efficient. It's what makes Japanese conversations feel so much smoother and more direct, because you're just cutting out all the extra stuff that everyone already knows.
So, you have the formula now. You can say, I am the student. But just by swapping in a new noun, you can introduce yourself, say your job, point things out, tell the time. So take a second and just look around you. With this one simple pattern, how much of your world can you suddenly describe in Japanese?